asked to solve this following equation. Now, we could do this by hand. This allows us to support it graphically, so I want to talk about how you could use your graphing calculator to help you do this. Now, of course, you could use the quadratic equation here. You could factor, you could complete the square, all the other things that we know how to do. And to do any of those, you start by solving for 0. It's the same thing you're going to do here. You're going to move that 40 over and make this w squared minus 3w minus 40 equals 0. But you're going to replace that 0 with an f of x and the w's with x. So in other words, you're changing this into a graphing equation. So obviously you keep the w's and you could use f of w, but when we put into our graph calculators, we're just going to use x because that's what it has. But you're going to put it all on one side with the 0 on one side, just like you do for anything else, and you're going to put in for your y1 that. So x squared minus 3x minus 40. So I've just set it equal to 0, and I've replaced my 0 with my f of x or my y, and I'm going to graph it. Let's see what we get here. And you might need to move yours around. I've already kind of tinkered with my window so we could see all of this. This is our equation. Now, where it crosses the x-axis are our zeros. Now, how can you find them? Sometimes it'll be really easy to kind of just, zoom or trace. You can use this trace button and, go up, and you should be able to get fairly close to them. But you'll notice that it kind of skips around. See how that comes? It doesn't do a very good job. So what you can do is you're going to hit, you want this calc right here, up here above trace. I'm going to hit second, trace. And I want the 0, so I'm going to hit number 2. And what you're going to do is left bound. That means what you're doing is you're pretty much putting it in the area you want. So you can see right here my trace button. I'm going to go up a little bit. So you can see I'm on one side of the 0, and I'm going to click enter. And then now on my right bound, so on the other side, I'm going to go down here below my 0 and hit enter. So what I've done, you can see these little, let's see if I can get a better view of them. You can see these little triangles here. That's showing that the 0 is somewhere between there. What you're doing is you're telling the calculator with the left and right bounds where the 0 should be between. So that's what I've done, is you can just click somewhere in the general vicinity. You just want to be on above the 0 and below the 0, and then you're going to click and see it. Now it says guess. I'm just going to click enter, and it goes right there to the first 0. So our first 0 is negative 5. So now if I graphed or used the quadratic, I would get this. Now I need to find the second one. So I'm going to do the second thing. I'm going to do second calc. I'm going to do 0 again. Now I'm just going to move this over, still on the left side starting. And usually you try to get close to it, but really anywhere below the first one would be good enough. Yeah, it got mad at me. Okay. So I'm going to go here, enter. Now I need to put up my first triangle. Now I'm going to go above it. There's my right bound. Okay. Now it's got that. Now I want it to guess. I'm going to hit enter again. And there my other one is at 8. So my zeros are at negative 5 and 8, and it went directly to them. Now what if I wanted to find the minimum of this parabola, this one down here? Well, I'm going to do the second calc, but now I'm going to hit 3 minimum. You can see if this was the other way, this was an inverse, I would use the maximum, 3. And I'm going to do the same thing, left bound. So I need to go back to the other side. This, because I know it's down here somewhere, so I need to be on this side of it, on the left side of it, enter. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just go until I'm on the other side of where I know approximately the min is, and I'm going to hit enter. And there again, it's somewhere between there, and it's going to find the minimum. And right there, you can see y is negative 42.25, x is about 1.5. And it'll put you right on there. This can be really useful. The nice thing about this is going to find any local ones. So you want to know where the minimum is in a certain area as you go on. You might have a couple of minimums. You're going to have later, especially as you get into calc, local mins and local maxes. This allows you to find several different throughout it. You can see here when I go back to this calc menu, I have the value. So if I'm clicking somewhere, it's going to give me the other value, intersects, all kinds of cool things that it allows me to find.